We thought gaming phones were maxed out with the 120Hz screens. Well, how about a whopping 144Hz display on a smartphone? Hey warriors, I'm Ben, and today on Android Gamespot we're gonna take a look at the Nubia Red Magic 5G and what it has to offer. We'll also test out some games and I'll give you guys my impressions later in the video. Disclaimer, this was sent to me by Nubia for the purpose of this review, and just a quick reminder before we begin, I publish new videos every week, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for everything mobile gaming. So let's go ahead and unbox this. As you can see, this is the front of the box. On the sides we have the Red Magic logo, and on the back the specs of the phone. So let's take a quick look. I'll be talking in details about these after the unboxing. I kinda like the art on the front. It has this cyberpunk, Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell kind of vibes to it, and it stands out from the standard solid color with logo packaging other brands are using. The wrapping is off. Let's put the phone aside first and see what else comes in the box. I'm guessing this is the user manual, the charging cable and the power adapter. Let's start with the charging cable. It's red, same as the Red Magic 3S. Red is my favorite color, so bonus points. It's a Type A to Type C. Let's go ahead and put this away for a second. Next we have the power adapter. Please be red, please be red. It's black, standard looking charger, and it supports 18 watts quick charge. There will be a 55 watt charger that will be available for sale separately. Now on to the last item. We have the SIM card tool there. And okay, this is a quick start guide. Comes in many languages. A more in-depth manual is stored by default in the phone, by the way. And oh, game time anytime. I'm all up for that. Let's hop back to the phone and get a closer look at the Red Magic 5G. At the back here we have a glass design, which is a change from the previous Red Magic 3 and 3S aluminum body. I'm not a fan of the glass sandwich design as it's more fragile, so it's kind of a step back in this regard. Design wise, it's a mix of slick and minimalist look, at least for the Eclipse Black model, which I'm holding. There are two other versions available, Pulse and Hot Rod Red, with clearly more aggressive looks. It's worth saying that it comes with a screen protector pre-installed, and that's always a nice touch. On the upper sides we have the shoulder buttons, which you can customize as shortcuts, and I'll show you how it's done in a second. Next is the volume and power buttons and the air vent holes, which are on both sides for the cooling fan. At the top we have a headphone jack and a speaker. Here at the back the triple camera setup from top to bottom, the 64 megapixel main camera Sony IMX686, the 8 megapixel ultra wide for landscapes, and the 2 megapixel macro for close-up zoom shots. On the bottom side we have that red switch to turn on and off the game mode, and the port for the dock sold separately. And finally at the bottom we have the SIM tray, the USB Type-C port, and the second speaker. I went ahead and turned it on and it's installing an update, so while it does that, let's talk about the specs. The Red Magic 5G weighs 218 grams, featuring metal frames on the sides and a glass back cover. It's running the Red Magic OS 3.0 based on Android 10.0, and rest assured there is no bloatware here, so you're left with a neat and polished user interface, and that's great. The phone sports a 6.65-inch AMOLED display with a 144Hz refresh rate, and at the time of this video this is the only phone in the world with such a screen. On the performance side you got a Snapdragon 865 chip with LPDDR5, two versions are available, the 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage, and the 12GB of RAM, 256GB of storage. As its name suggests, the 5G sports a 5G SA plus NSA dual mode supporting all key regions. The Turbofan 3.0 included features active liquid cooling, and here is a selfie from the 8 megapixel front camera and a few indoor shots with its 64 megapixel Sony triple camera. I didn't take any outdoor pictures because of the current pandemic situation, #stay home. Lastly, the Red Magic 5G has RGB lighting at the back which you can customize, a logo lighting in red, both can be turned on and off, and a 4500 mAh battery capacity with an 18-watt quick charge. I'll leave a link in the description below with more specs. Before we test out some games, I just want to show you guys the dedicated game mode of the phone, which is called Gamespace. So from the home screen, you switch on the Gamespace with the red switch on the side, and here you have a shortcut menu with all your games. You can tweak and optimize the phone to your ideal settings, monitor game performance, capture gameplay and screenshots, and even block incoming notifications and calls so they don't interrupt your gaming session. This is the 2.1 version of the Gamespace, and it feels more polished compared to the older versions running on the Red Magic 3 or 3S. To name a few, there is now a dedicated button for combo execution, so you can basically save a series of button presses under a one-click combo button. For shooting games, the phone features a front side assist in which you can tweak and customize the fine details of your aim assist. Next are the air triggers, and this is how you can customize them. I'll be using Call of Duty Mobile as an example, so from the Gamespace window, we'll tap to activate them, slide the right trigger to where we want, then the left, save, and that's it. Pretty easy. So while playing games, especially competitive ones like shooters, MMORPGs or MOBAs, you can map these pretty easily, and for example, in Call of Duty, I don't need to move my thumbs from the moving and fire controls in order to, for example, throw a grenade or do a melee attack based on how I customize them. The choice is yours. 4D Rumble Shock is also available, but the downside is only a few games supports it. PUBG Mobile, Knives Out, and Asphalt 9, as far as I know, do, and I did enjoy the more sensitive vibrations thanks to this feature. As for the dock and gamepad, I can't really talk about them because I simply don't have them. I tried a bunch of games at 60, 90, and when possible 144Hz refresh rate, and the difference is there. The gameplay experience was smooth and I experienced no lag whatsoever, and that's due to the 5G Touch Choreographer, the phone's in-game frame rate compensation technology that stabilizes each frame rate, and it works. All the gameplay footage was captured on the Red Magic 5G, and before we move on to my final verdict, let's check out how the phone performed on the benchmark tests. Pros first, let's just get down to it. The Red Magic 5G star feature is the 144Hz display. At the time of this video, as I mentioned, it is the only phone in the world with such high refresh rate display. The 5G is nicely built and it looks stylish, especially with those RGB LED combinations. The phone performance is top notch and the shoulder triggers really make a difference. The internal turbofan, which covers 56% more surface than the 3S, helps keep the phone even cooler for longer gaming sessions, and the stereo sound system gives crisp sound both from the speakers and when using headphones. On to the cons now. I have to say that I'm not a big fan of the on-screen fingerprint sensor. That comes down to personal preference, I guess, but I'd rather have an actual sensor at the back of the phone, and it didn't always unlock at first try. The camera performance isn't great either, although most gaming phones focus on raw processing power and other gaming related features, so that's understandable. Another thing that's worth mentioning is the battery life. At 4500 mAh, it's actually less than the previous model, and playing games at high settings and with the RGB lights on will drain the battery quite fast, and I'm not sure why the phone was bundled with the 55-watt charger only in China and the rest of the world has to buy it separately. So my final verdict is, with all the pros and cons considered, the Red Magic 5G at just below $600 for the 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage is great value for your money. Yes, there aren't that many games currently that match the screen refresh rate, but the phone runs every game you can think of at max settings seamlessly. Plus, you'll get a future-proof gaming display, flagship hardware, and premium build. In other words, this is, at the time of this video, the best gaming phone in the world, and without breaking the bank. Links for more info are down in the description below. And that sums up the review of the Red Magic 5G, and I'm curious, will you be getting one? And if yes, what is your favorite color? Let's continue the discussion in the comment section down below. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, your likes are very much appreciated, and subscribing is a good idea if you haven't yet, as I make new videos like this every week. Also, special thanks to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members, and if you also want to support my work, you can sign up for membership on Patreon or YouTube for as little as $1 and get access to exclusive badges and emojis, behind the scenes rewards, or your name in the videos. So head over to patreon.com/AndroidGamespot or check out the links in the description down below. Once again, I'm Ben, thank you warriors for watching, and I'll see you next time, right here on Android Gamespot. Stay home and stay epic.